With your Voiceover Match Dailicast for today, Monday, July 29th, I'm Chris Lanning from NeighborhoodStage.com. Now this week on the Voiceover Match Podcast, my guest was Paul Wynn, managing partner at One Mission TV and EyeOn Creative. Now incidentally, Paul was also the second producer ever to hire me when I started VoiceOver, and the first to hire me to a second job. Must have done something right. Anyway, in this clip from the podcast, I asked him to tell us about One Mission TV and EyeOn Creative, and also how he personally got into this type of work.
So we formed EyeOn Creative a little over 14 years ago. It's myself and my business partner, Doug Keesey. I live in Brooklyn, New York. Doug lives in Ball Ground, Georgia. So we feel like we've got a lot of the demographics covered there. EyeOn Creative is a company that we primarily work with business clients, people out in the business world. About 10 years ago, we formed One Mission TV because a lot of our clients were in charity, nonprofit, religious organizations. Right. And so we still operate with both companies, but One Mission TV is where the majority of our work is done. And so we work with lots of different folks around the world and then a lot in the United States.
So how did you get into doing this type of production work?
So I started a million years ago in TV news. I was working in Texas at some television stations. And after doing that for a little while, I went to work for a religious organization in-house with their staff media. That being a long time ago, when we would call narrators, we would call them into our radio booth and they would come in and I would be on the other side of the glass and we would direct the narrations and record them right there. And so we would have a small stable of narrators that we typically used, could come in on short notice and do those sort of things. And then, of course, since then, as the internet world has opened up, it's given us a lot more choices to make. And, you can hear a lot more voices. I can share those voices with clients, obviously, and let them make more of the decisions. Like when we first started back in 2011, most of the time I would try to listen in as the narrations were recorded. But these days, usually the narrator will just record it and send it to me. And then if we need to make tweaks, that's pretty easily done too.
I mean, I remember having that directed session. And actually, for somebody who was just starting out, it was kind of good because you were able to say, okay, now can you try it this way? Can you just give it to me this way? And then he yelled at me because I sent you the recording with all this processing on it. Like, no, just send me the plain recording. I will take care of that. I may still occasionally make that mistake, but perfectionist, I guess. Still to come this week on the Voiceover Match Dailicast, I asked Paul to describe the typical process they follow for their projects and also asked him where they source their voice talent. I asked him how he combs through all the auditions to find the ones he wants. We discussed the role of the budget and the bid when choosing voice talent for a job, and I asked Paul for some red flags he sees in auditions, as well as other tips and tricks he may offer to voiceover talent. Now, to hear the podcast in its entirety, head on over to voiceovermatch.com and find all the ways you can listen. With your Voiceover Match Dailycast for today, I'm Chris Lanning from NeighborhoodStage.com. Have a great day.